So hi everyone. We will be starting now. My name is Leah Fayez and I will be moderating today's session. Let's start by introducing our speakers. First, we have Irene Boghdadi, the Technical Assistant Specialist from Chemonix, Egypt, Minna Sabri, Lead Technical Assistant Specialist from Chemonix, Egypt, and Saman Jaffan, Grants and Finance Specialist from Veritech. So before we start, let's go with a bit of logistics, housekeeping rules. First of all, please keep your microphones muted throughout the presentation. Any question you have, please drop it in the chat, and we have a designated time for a Q&A session at the end. And also, the session will be recorded and will be available on YouTube and our website as well. Arabic and French interpretation is available in the interpretation channel below where there's this little globe. To access it, just click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen and select the language. So I'm also going to say this in Arabic. إذا كنت ترغب في الاستماع إلى العرض باللغة العربية أو الفرنسية، يرجى الضغط على الرمز الكرة الأرضية في أسفل الشاشة ثم اختيار اللغة. تلار.
Si vous souhaitez écouter la présentation en français, veuillez cliquer sur l'icône en forme de globe au bas de vos écrans, puis sélectionnez français.
And again, recordings and the questions will be available, the questions and answers will be available on the website by the end of this session. And we will be sending all the links and sharing the links in this chat as well. So for the agenda, first, we will be having a short introduction about WE4F, so everyone has a clear picture of the program and the goals. Then we will move to the call for innovations for track 3 and 4, and we'll be explaining the cycle. After that, we're going to go through the eligibility criteria, so you know exactly whether your innovation qualifies before you apply. Then we'll meet the country coordinators very quickly and have a session specifically for the Q&A. So now I will be giving the floor to Irene to present and introduce WE4F 2.0. Irene, over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be with you. Pleased to meet you. Please do write your names and your countries in the chat as well. So We4Food 2.0, it's an initiative that is currently funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA, and the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, SDC, which we're very grateful for this very important program in the region. It's also important for you to know that it's We4Food 2.0 because We4Food 1.0 actually was ongoing in the last 6 years, and it stopped only in the last year. So this is really wonderful. We're learning a lot from the implementation of the first water energy for food. And before that, there were two other programs that were administered by some donors were common and others were new. But there was two programs called Securing Water for Food. So that's WFF, which you'll see in front of you. And there was also a program called the Power for Ag, Powering Agriculture. So We4Food comes to you with actually more than 15 years of experience in implementing projects to support energy and/or water efficiency in agri-food value chains globally. We4Food 2.0 in the MENA Hub is implemented by Veritech in partnership with CWAS and Chemonix Egypt. Next. So most of you on this call are very well aware of the agriculture and food security and water security context in our region. There are some important drivers that are driving the demand for resource efficient agriculture, resource efficient food production, and improved use of energy and water in our food systems. So there's a growing population in the MENA region. Globally, this population will be around 10 billion just in 2050, and we will need around 70% more food food to feed the global population. And this is also the case in the MENA region that has actually higher population growth rates compared to other countries globally. And food is actually very water and energy consuming in most of the countries in our region. Most of us still flood irrigate, and even if we use efficient irrigation systems, they're not deployed at scale as we would like them to see, and for our food production to be more water efficient. Similarly, with energy, most of our agriculture food systems rely on fossil fuel based energy, whether it's natural gas or diesel, and that makes the water and energy consumption in our food systems very high and at times also very expensive. Climate change is having a very severe impact on our agriculture systems. Rain patterns have been changing, and many of our countries have seen this in the last 3 years. There's variable patterns of rain, and there's reduced rain as well. And then we have extreme cold and extreme heat, which is really undermining our food productivity and ultimately our food security. Next. So the We4Food program, our ultimate goal is to work with innovators like yourself, SMEs, startups, organizations that are delivering water and or energy saving solutions to transform our agri-food systems, make them more resource efficient, make them more climate resilient, and make them more inclusive to vulnerable populations and women. That's our ultimate goal, and this is what we remind ourselves of every day. And you'll see that there's around 7 sub-goals. So the first, let's say, objective is to increase food production and increase food processing using less resources. Also to improve market access for farmers and other agriculture value chain players. The second goal is to increase income for the base of the pyramid and for vulnerable communities, for women, for youth, and for other marginalized communities, and to create employment opportunities with a big emphasis on youth and women. The third objective is to sustainably introduce and scale climate smart agriculture solutions to drive market transformation and to also catalyze the adoption of these solutions in agri-food sectors. The fourth is to promote climate resilience and environmental resilience, and to also promote biodiversity, so that overall we're taking good care of land restoration and use of water energy in the agri-food markets. The fifth objective is to promote circular economy, so to reduce food waste, to process biomass residues, for example, to improve the resource use, and to valorize and add value to agriculture and organic waste, as well as agro-industrial waste. So this is an important point for those of you here, is that in this program, we're also covering circular economy, as long as it relates to agriculture or organic waste or food loss reduction. The sixth objective is to advance climate mitigation through the reduction of greenhouse gases from agriculture food systems, and this can be through increasing the adoption of sustainable energy solutions or other solutions like carbon sequestration. So, for example, soil enhancement products like biochar. These are also solutions that we would like to support to improve the absorption of carbon in our ecosystems. Finally, to strengthen trade between countries in the MENA region and each other, as well as globally. So a big objective of this project is to enhance access to market for the innovators that we're supporting, both regionally and internationally, and to support cross-border partnerships. So the main pillars for We4Food, how do we reach these objectives? It's through enabling environment aspects like advocacy, through providing financial assistance through the grants, but also through supporting the innovators and leveraging other types of funding with this grant, through technical assistance, deep and focused and tailored technical assistance for companies that are, innovators, organizations that are working within the water, energy, food nexus space, through capacity development and training, through knowledge dissemination, peer-to-peer learning, and knowledge generation as well, and also through direct grants. So we have both grants and then the aspect of financial assistance, which is helping you on how to manage the grants, but also how to leverage other sources of funding so you can cover a bigger budget. So the implementing partners are the program is led by Beritech, and its scope is grant management, monitoring and evaluation, and investment readiness, followed by CWAS as a partner, which is responsible for enabling environment, communications, learning, and knowledge management, and Chemonics Egypt Consultants, which is responsible for technical assistance, environmental, social governance management, as well as gender integration. The national coordinators are CEBC, and they're responsible for business development support, field operations, on-the-ground operations, and ecosystem engagement with other partners, as well as access to finance support from different types of financiers, whether it's equity or debt or grant. And also Startup Syria, which its scope is ecosystem engagement as well, activating grassroots and on-the-ground networks, providing innovation support, as well as investment readiness support for the innovators that we're working with. So our geographical coverage in the whole program for the next few years are 9 countries, actually. So Egypt, Lebanon, Morocco, Jordan, Iraq, Palestine, Tunisia, Syria, and Algeria. Innovators that are selected to join We4Food benefit from 4 main components. So matching grants, and like I said earlier, the benefit is not just the grant, but also the support that you receive to leverage further funding from existing sources in the markets that you're operating in, deep and tailored sector-specific technical assistance, investment readiness and facilitation support to help you maximize the impact of the grant, as well as access to partnerships and networks within the region and outside of the region. Next. Okay. So, like I said, We4Food 2.0 has built really on a very important precedent, which is We4Food 1.0. And in We4Food 1.0, we supported 69 enterprises in 10 different countries. We reached 700,000 beneficiaries, helped mobilize around $35 million in financing, in addition to the grants that were dispersed, helped save around 12 billion liters of water, 1.5 million tons of carbon emissions equivalent was reduced, and 10.5 million tons of food produced. The numbers are much higher. You'll be able to find a report shortly this year. But what's great is that this impact was created by the 69 enterprises. So through the support package that we offered that included grants, technical assistance, enabling environment support, knowledge management support, those 69 enterprises in very hard times in the MENA region were able to achieve this impact, and we're sure that you'll be able to do the same too. Okay, I'll pass it over to Ms. Minna Sabri, and thank you very much for your attention. Over to you, Ms. Minna.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to see you all. So thank you for attending. First of all, let me start with encouraging you to read the solicitation documents, which are available on the website. It's available in Arabic and in English. It has a lot of details about the program, about the targets, the KPIs, the different tracks that we have under this program. Also information about the expression of interest and the full proposal. So before starting the online form for the expression of interest, you can actually, through the solicitation document, you can read the questions for this phase, which is the expression of interest, and for the next phase, which will be the full proposal. So all of this information that we will be discussing today is already available on the website in both English and Arabic, so you can prepare well before you apply. Next, please. Okay, so as Irene mentioned, through our WE4F 1.0 program, we had a lot of lessons learned. And one of these lessons is that different types of innovators in different countries and in different stages of their development need different types of support. So this is why we have under WE4F 2.0 4 different tracks targeting 4 different sets of countries in the MENA region. These tracks target different companies in different stages of their development, and accordingly, the support we offer differ. The first track that we will discuss today is track 3. Through track 3, the geographic coverage is Syria, Algeria, and Palestine. Next, please. Track 3 targets micro, small, and medium enterprises and scale-ups in Algeria, Palestine, and Syria that demonstrates potential for innovation and high community level impact. We are targeting to work with 30 companies, approximately 10 per country. So if you are operating in a different country, but you have a national partner in any of these countries, you can also apply as long as your partnership has been valid for at least 1 year, and you can show that you have a strong presence in those countries. We are targeting firms that has at least 1 year of operations, which means 1 year of revenue generation or 1 year of registration. In terms of innovation aspects that we're looking for, we're mostly looking to see that the companies that we are supporting has relevant businesses and business solutions to the water and energy and food nexus. The minimum annual revenue is $25,000 USD. As for the growth stage that's targeted is, again, like I mentioned, micro, small, and medium enterprises and scale-up that demonstrate potential for innovation, high community level impact. The program will be offering to track 3 innovators a grant average of $80,000 USD. But it is also important for us to see that you are investing in your own resources. So you are highly encouraged to match the grant by 25%. So for example, applicants who request $80,000 USD for an innovation are encouraged to provide a minimum of $20,000 USD. Also, in this program, you will be supported by deep technical assistance that is tailored to your stage of development and to your needs, as well as investment readiness and facilitation support to help you maximize the benefit of the catalytic grant that's being provided. So if you feel like you are eligible for track 3, then we invite you to apply as soon as possible. The deadline is on the 7th of August. And the application form for the expression of interest is actually short and will not take you too long. As for track 4, it's basically only for Syria, and it targets early stage firms that also demonstrate potential for innovation and high community level impact. Next, please. Through track 4, we are targeting working with 30 companies from Syria. Here we have no requirement for minimum age of the company, but we are targeting validated solutions that are commercialization ready and can demonstrate early traction or validated demand. In terms of the innovation aspect that we're looking for, it's exactly like track 3, and to all of the tracks, we're mostly looking to see that the companies that we're supporting has relevant business solutions to the water and energy and food nexus. For track 4, we have no requirement for the minimum annual revenue required. And the growth stage that's targeted is, again, like I mentioned, early firms with relevant WEF climate resilient solutions that are ready to go to market and demonstrate potential for innovation, strong problem solution fit, and high community level impact, including the ability to scale. The program will be offering track 3 companies a grant average of 30,000 USD, and you are also highly encouraged to match this grant by any amount. In this track as well, the support will be deep technical assistance and investment readiness and facilitation. Next, please. These are the 11 thematic areas that we focus on and we target in WE4F 2, and you can find more details for these thematic areas in the solicitation document as well. This is just an overview of these themes. So the first one is innovation in food production that reduces water consumption. The second is efficient use of water resources for food production, followed by the sustainable use of energy and water on farm, followed by energy innovations for food processing and logistics, then food production with efficient energy use, and solutions that leverage food or agriculture waste or all types of organic waste to produce cleaner energy, followed by projects that are supporting land restoration and prevention of farmland loss. And then other innovations working across the agri-food logistics, for example, packaging or food drying, increasing circularity and decreasing waste, including, for example, solutions that are supporting the recycling of food waste or sustainable packaging solutions. Number 10, innovation in organic farming. And finally, wastewater treatment or wastewater reduction or water loss reduction or desalination. As long as it's serving the agriculture and food production sector and it is supporting the provision of clean energy or the reduction of energy use, the provision of treated water or the reduction of water, then it's likely going to fit in any of these 11 thematic areas. I also encourage you to take a look at our website. There are a lot of documented innovators there, like I think around 150 innovators that were already supported during WE4F 1.0. So it will give you a good idea of the innovators that we support, but also a note here that in WE4F 2.0, we've broadened the thematic areas as well. I will pass it over to Mr. Samael, who will give you a bit of an idea about the grants and finance aspects.
Yes, thank you, MENA. Hello again, everyone, and thank you for joining this session. Mainly, I will now walk you through the grants and finance section, and more specifically, I will explain about the financial support WE4F 2.0 is aiming to provide, and how you should think about your grant request and what to expect, what we are expecting from you during this expression of interest stage. So the first point I want to emphasize on is that the WE4F grant should be a catalytic grant. That means you should think about a grant that it's intended to scale your business, not just simply to cover general company expenses or replace normal financing of your current business. As we said, it should address a specific gap that is preventing your innovation or your solution that you are providing from moving to the next stage of the growth. So when we say catalytic, we mean funding that can unlock something like additional sales, more traction, more customers, better delivery capacity, and of course, strong market access. The value of the program is not only with the grant. As we said, we have additional supports with technical assistance and investment support. We, as a grants and finance, our role is to help you to structure a realistic growth plan, a budget that is linked to this plan, and of course, to prepare the compliance and financial management requirements that come with donor-funded grants or program. A small example here, if your company already have a product in the market, but you cannot expand because you are having challenges in the packaging. Let's say you need to improve your packaging, you need to strengthen your distribution channel to validate your demand in new geographical areas, or any other specific activities. Here, the grant will play this role in eliminating those barriers and unlocking the opportunity to expand. For track 3, as we said, the grant will be on average of 80K, and you are encouraged to provide 25% matching contribution. And for track 4, it will be around 30K, and a matching contribution or matching fund is also encouraged, but not as a requirement. So basically, those are the 4 areas that we aim to support you in. As we said, we have grant structuring, budget clarity, matching fund, and pre-award readiness. For the next slide, okay, so here we can go deeper into the grant request explanation. As we said, the most important principle is that a strong grant request should clarify what will this funding unlock for your business. So what you need to mention in the expression of interest is additional details, like you need to say the grant will support us to increase production capacity, to serve more customer demand, let's say, strengthen our distribution in specific areas. This is the logic that we are aiming for. Your application or your answers might be weak if you just say we need support for rent, for salaries, for general recurrent operational expenses. Now we know those costs may be real, but unless they are clearly related to a strategic or a specific growth plan into your narrative, it will not add a value or let you proceed to the next stage of the application. So at this stage, you are not required to provide a detailed budget, but you should bear in mind that later on, if you got accepted in the full proposal, the budget should be built around activities that are directly linked to the project. It could include or cover staff time or salaries, raw materials, consumables, specialized services, and any other relevant operational costs such as technical support, market access activities, marketing activities, and other justified costs. Now, for the grant payment, the methodology of this grant is a milestone-based approach. That means you will not simply receive a one-time grant and then left open. The grant is structured around agreed milestones, and these milestones are intended to track whether the innovation is progressing and it is already supporting you to scale and achieve impact and financial sustainability. So as we said, in practice, the grant disbursement is expected to be on a tranche, 3-tranche model. And of course, each tranche is related to a progress that includes technical milestones, financial milestones such as sales, customer traction, matching fund, governance, or even ESG milestones such as internal controls or safeguards and documentation. As we said, for the matching fund, in case your company is capable or have the capacity to provide matching contribution, we can accept cash or cash equivalents and where eligible in-kind contribution. But of course, it should be realistic, attributable to the project, and supported by clear evidence. Now, for the EOI specifically, in the next slide, we can move, yes. So in this stage, we are not asking, of course, for the full detailed information about your business, but we are asking for enough information for us to understand your innovation and your solution and whether it is eligible and it has a credible growth and financial logic behind it. So please use the EOI template to provide concise, clear, and realistic answers. Avoid general statements. And I suggest or I advise you to use numbers whenever possible, especially in USD currency, so we can complete our assessment. Mainly 4 areas to focus on. First, we have the eligibility screening. So we are asking you at first if your activities are related to construction or land development, or if the activities you are trying to fund are using pesticide, herbicides, or any other chemical equipments. So please here be transparent and provide us with a clear answer so we can let the team in WE4F provide a a valid assessment of your business model. Second, you should explain your grant request, as we said, and the financing need. So how much funds you are in need to as a grant, what activities you will be supporting, the grant will be supporting, and of course, do not simply say we need fund to grow. Rather, you should explain. You should say like we need the grant to reach more customers, new geographical markets, more production capacity, and maybe improving your unit economics. Of course, you should estimate the total financing needed beyond the grant that we are offering. So you should bear in mind that if you acquire the grant from WE4F, how much financing you still need to achieve your growth targets. So for this reason, we are asking you also if you are currently raising funds or planning a fundraising round, including equity, debt, or any other grant financing. It also asks how much investment you are interested to acquire or financing you need, as we said, beyond the grant. As a final point, we are asking you to provide your financial information. So here we are stating from 2023 up to June 2026, of course, if available, because we understand for early stage firms and for track 3 specifically, the applicants may not have a lot of info about their financial figures. So if they have limited revenues, you can include in your answer or strengthen your answer by providing evidence of market traction or validation, such as initial sales, purchase orders, letter of intent, partnership agreements, any pipeline with any supplier or any customer agreements. So in brief, the EOI should give the WE4F team the confidence that you already understand your business, you understand your financial needs, and you can explain how this grant that WE4F will provide will accelerate your growth and impact. So for the final slide here, this is about the pre-award survey and due diligence assessment. This is not a requirement currently, but you should be aware of it. You should expect that if you got selected to the next round of the full proposal, the WE4F team will be assessing your internal controls and through operational capacity, compliance systems, and governance readiness. And of course, you should be asked to provide a set of policies or documentation such as procurement, HR. Of course, here for the early stage firms and for the track 4, we really understand that these systems may not be totally available or perfect. The point is not to have it complete. The main point is that you should be transparent, organized, and willing to cooperate with the program, and willing, of course, to strengthen your internal controls where we might find some gaps that needs improvement. So this is it in a nutshell, our role as a grants and finance. I will hand it over now to MENA to proceed with the rest of the slides. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Samain. So in the expression of interest phase and in the proposal phase, there are 3 main pillars that we look at. First, we have eligibility questions. So in the first page of the form, you will find questions related to the eligibility, which we covered in the slides that had the table, like the minimum revenues and the age, and etc. So this is the first part. Then we ask a series of questions around your innovation details. So like we presented also earlier in the thematic areas, so we ask you which one you believe you fit in. And then we ask you for more information about your solution and your business model and your environmental, social impact and mitigation measures as well as other related to governance and some questions related to integration of women and vulnerable groups. So cross-cuttingly, you will find that we usually ask questions around the business and financial viability, both in the expression of interest and in the full proposal. Then we ask around the innovation viability. So for example, what differentiates your solution from others? that your current customers or your prospect customers are serving. And then finally, we ask a series of questions around sustainability, environmental impact, social impact, governance, and gender. What's important also here to tell you is that even if you do not currently have environmental or social or governance practices, it is important that you write what you are currently doing and the risks you see and how you would like to improve. So basically your future plans or your planned initiatives. So we don't only evaluate the past, but we also put like scores on what are you planning to do on these aspects. Next, please. So these are some examples of the questions for track 3. In the expression of interest that you can see again in the solicitation document on the website, here you will see on the left, we give you like a chance to explain your business model. Are you a B2C or a B2B entity, or do you target both? Do you sell directly to customers, to end users, or do you sell to distributors and retailers, or do you do both? And then we ask you about the number of customers and how many customers you plan to serve in the future. We also ask you about end users that you have targeted. And in a couple of slides, we will discuss the difference between customers and end users. And then we also ask questions around your fundraising goals. So as Mr. Saman mentioned, from what sources and how will this help catalyze the grant amount that you receive? So you have a chance to prepare these questions first before actually accessing the JOT form. So you can do that, and you can again check the solicitation document for the full list. Next, please. Here are some examples for track 4 questions. So on the left, how much funding are you asking in USD? And here, please use the exchange rates from your respective central banks. And what types of activities are you seeking to fund using the grant support? So basically, what are you going to do with the requested funding? And then are you planning to provide matching grant? And as mentioned before, it is highly encouraged that you provide matching grant as much as possible. On the right, we ask about your innovation and the challenges it tackles. We ask about your target customers or users. We also would like to get details of the process or the technology used. For example, if you are producing compost, we would like to know the process behind it, aerobic, anaerobic, etc. And there is also a section here where you can upload your organizational profile if available. Next, please. Okay, so who is eligible? So the first thing we do when we receive all of the applications, we do like a quick eligibility and screening check. And what we look for, whether the innovation that the applicant is applying with, does it have a clear link to water, energy, food nexus? So is it providing water saving, water treatment, water desalination, water efficiency solutions in the agriculture sector, or clean energy, energy efficiency solutions in the agricultural sector? As mentioned, our focus is agriculture sector, and here we're talking about both farm level and all the way to the food processing. And we're also this time in WE4F 2.0, we're looking also at other supply chain enhancing aspects like packaging, like cold storage, and aspects related to food waste management, organic waste management. So based on previous open calls, one tip that it is not enough that you buy from smallholder farmers, for example. There needs to be an impact, particularly water or energy savings. The second point is you must operate in one of the eligible countries. So for track 3, again, it's Algeria, Palestine, and Syria. And for track 4, it is Syria. That means, again, that you are located in these countries or through a national partner, and this partnership should at least be active for the last year. So in a nutshell, for track 3, we are targeting MSMEs and scale-ups in Algeria, Palestine, and Syria, operating for at least 1 year with minimum annual revenues of $25,000 US. For track 4, early stage firms in Syria, market-ready solution with early traction, meaning there are already initial sales, paid pilots, or purchase orders with no minimum revenue required. Next, please. So here we discuss who is not eligible. So innovations with no operations in the eligible countries. So for track 3, Algeria, Palestine, Syria. For track 4, it is Syria. You are not eligible if there is weak or no link to water and energy efficiency and savings, and improvements in agriculture and food value chain. You are not eligible if you're applying solar or renewable energy, mini, micro, or pico grid, or any kind of resource efficiency projects with no explicit benefit to the food value chain. You are not eligible if the solution requires any construction or land development activities or innovations that promotes the use of fossil fuels. Next, please. So there are a few key definitions that we use a lot in our WE4F program. So it is very important for you to understand because you will keep seeing it in the JOT form, in the solicitation document. So it is important to understand. And this, the differentiator between customer and end user is very important because a lot of people get confused. And the definition is also included in the solicitation document, so you can read it at your leisure. So the customer is a person or an entity that directly purchases your product or your service. And if you are a business to customer innovator, then your customer could be the farmer or your food consumers. If you are a business to business innovator, then your customers are the businesses that you sell your products or solution to. So this could be a trader, it could be the distributor, it could be the supplier. As for end users, they're not just your direct customers. End users also include customers. However, it includes other people around your customer or other organizations or entities. So for example, if you sell a solar irrigation system or compost or any solution to a farmer, so the farmer here is the customer. But it is very likely that also the family members, the mother, the children also benefit from the savings and the emissions reductions and the other impacts that you help realize. So in this case, the family are the end users. So it includes the farmer and the family. So here you will not only count, when you're counting the end user, you count the farmer, who is your customer, but also you count the farmer plus the family members, like 3, 4, 5 family members that are also benefiting from the solution. Next, please. The key term innovation that we also use a lot, we are used to the idea that innovation has to be technology-related innovation. However, in WE4F 2.0, we use innovation in a broader sense. For example, if you have an innovation way of making, an innovation way of marketing the product compared to what's already existing in the market. If you have an innovative way of delivering the product, for example, combining a product with an after sales or with financial services. And if this is not common in the market, it is important to highlight to us in the expression of interest or in the full proposal that it could be in the supply chain, it could be in your packaging, it could be in the way in your payment terms, it could be anything. And again, here we always compare with what's available in the market, and we would like you to highlight this if you have any kind of innovation in your solution. Next, please. Business model, it's a key point because in the expression of interest and in the full proposal, we ask a lot of questions regarding the business model to understand exactly what you are offering. So here we need to think about the business model as how your innovation creates, delivers, and captures value. And it is important to show, for example, how you generate revenue, what are your revenue streams, who are your main customer segments, what is your value proposition, and what's your competitive edge. All these ingredients are what makes a business model. So here I would like to highlight that you don't need to be a for-profit business. You can also be a non-profit, but you will have to have an revenue generating arm. Next, please. Base of the pyramid, BOP. It's another important definition that is very important for the program. So the program wants to make sure that you are accessing, we as a group are accessing vulnerable communities, that your products and services reach vulnerable communities. So we want to make sure that individuals that are below the poverty line or their per day income of $2 to $6 can access your products or services. So vulnerable communities could be smallholder farmers. Usually smallholder farmers has own lands that are below 2 acres of land. So we need to see also in your application form what you have done in the past to reach these segments, which are very important segments, and what are you going to do in the future to reach these segments. Next, please. ESG, which stands for environment, social, and governance. So we also look at ESG aspects, not only the business and innovation and financial aspects as well. So what we mean by environmental is how your business conducts water management, resource management, material management, energy management, and how your entity tackles climate resilience. Under social comes gender integration and integration of the base of the pyramid segments and women and youth as well. And by governance, we look at the team structure, we look at how decision-making is done within your team, etc. And in the expression of interest phase, we only look at the team structure and the team balance, whereas later on in the full proposal phase, we begin looking deeper into how you conduct your business internally and your decision-making process as well. Next, please. And now I hand it over to my colleague, Leah. Thank you.
Now, can you please, would it be possible for you to cover this slide when it comes to the process of bit of giving them a process of how the pre-award stage is?
Sure. So the first phase, which is the blue phase, the scoring and selection, the first one is you submit the EOI, the expression of interest forms, and our team reviews, which takes up to 7 weeks. And then afterwards, we do the shortlisting, and we invite you, if you proceed with us, we invite you to submit the full proposal, which also takes around 6 weeks. The full proposal, scoring, shortlisting, and interview takes up to 2 weeks. And then afterwards, we have the pre-awardee, the orange section, the pre-awardee list identified, induction and workshops, which takes up to 5 weeks. And then the fifth step is the due diligence, site visits, gap analysis, and preliminary growth plan finalized, which takes also 3 weeks. And the last step for the orange section is the growth plan milestones and targets finalized. And this is the part that we work together a lot, the orange section. We, as a program and as innovators, we work a lot together in the pre-award section. And then the 7th step is the final approval, which takes up to 2 weeks, which is the award.
Thank you, Minna. So like Minna mentioned, there is the review process, which usually it's taken 7 weeks. And then there is the shortlisting. However, the only point that I would like to add is that there will also be an informational session before the full proposal deadline. And there will also be in-country informational sessions before the expression of interest deadline. So now we are going to give you like a bit of a navigation on the website on how to apply. So first of all, you can find everything on we4f.org/MENA. So this is your main hub when it comes to all the information about the program and call for innovations generally and all the tracks. From the home page, you can go into either track 3 or track 4 if you know which track you want to apply to. If you already know, you can also go directly to we4f.org/track3MENA or track 4. You can find the links in the chat, and we will be also sharing them again by the end of this webinar. And at the same time, you can also go from the general page. So you can apply through both pages. And when you want to go into the specific track page, you can either apply in English or Arabic, and you can find it here on this slide. And before that, we strongly recommend that you go through the solicitation documents carefully. They contain all the essential documents mentioned today, the evaluation criteria, and exactly what we're looking for each track. And please remember, if you have any question, you can go to our FAQ page, which I will be explaining how to get to, or you can talk directly to your country coordinator. So for the FAQ page, you can go directly through to we4f.org/FAQ, and the link is also mentioned in the chat. On this page, you'll find the answers to the most common questions about eligibility, grant support, technical assistance, and the application process for WE4F 2.0. As you can see, we have track 1 and track 2 already available with the document downloadable, and we will also be updating a document for track 3 and 4. So please keep checking this page. And if there is any question or answer that you can't find, you can directly contact us at we4f at and you can access the email through the website itself. So for the key dates, the call was open on June 25th. Today we are having our virtual first info session. There will be in-person info sessions for the targeted countries. So we will be sharing everything through email, and you can also find it on our social media posts. And the deadline, the most important date is the deadline. The deadline to apply for the UI is by August 7th at 11 p.m. CET. So for key considerations, you can submit in either English, Arabic, or French. Start ahead of time. No need to fill the application out chronologically. It can be saved online. Plan for several rounds of internal revisions and back up your answers with reliable sources and data, and enjoy the process. And we also like to note that please don't rely heavily and solely on AI when it comes to your answers. So for the country coordinators, meet the country coordinators for the targeted countries for track 3 and 4. We have Sarah Yasmin for Algeria. We have Anthony for Syria and Sirine for Palestine. And also our local coordinators in Syria, which are also part of WE4F 2.0. We have Azedine from Startup Syria and Rana Ghafari from SEBC. And please, for the country coordinators and the local coordinators, if you can also share your details, your email and your number on the chat, it would also be great. So for the recordings, after this session, you can find the recording of the session on we4f.org/recordings, and you can go over also previous informational sessions for different tracks and the virtual launch there if you want to have an idea about WE4F 2.0, and additionally to this session as well. So for the Q&A, if you have any question, please share it in the chat, and the focal person will be answering your question. We're gonna wait for a bit if there's any question. Okay, we have our first question. Can we apply with 2 different startups? Who would like to answer that from the team?
You can apply with 2 different startups, but you will only get accepted. Yani one of them will get accepted.
If you have questions in Arabic, you can also write them into chat in Arabic or French.
I think we'll give it a couple of minutes, and if we don't have any questions in the next couple of minutes, we can maybe end this session. What do you think, Talal?
Well, we also have time to introduce our country coordinators. If you would like to give a few lines, I'm sure the participants would like to hear from you, and get familiarized with you, and then eventually, you know, communicate with you. So, Sarah, would you like to start?
Sure, Talal. Thank you. So, hello everyone. It's pleasure to meet you all. So, I'm Sarah Yasmin from Chemonix Egypt team. I'm the country coordinator of Algeria, and I will be the main point of contact for Algerian innovator with the program team. If you need any help or if you need any support, don't hesitate to reach out. And I sent my contact in the chat. Thank you, and good luck for the application.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. Sirin, would you like to go next?
Hi everyone, my name is Sirin Abdenoor and I'm the main focal point here in Palestine. And if you have any questions regarding the program you'd like to meet, hopefully please reach out. And I wish that we get a lot of applications from Palestine.
Amazing. Do we have our Syrian coordinators? Anthony, would you like to go next?
Thank you, Talar. My name is Anthony Shdeed, country coordinator for Syria and Lebanon. Looking forward to working with a lot of you in the future in Syria. A small piece of advice is start your application as soon as possible. You still have a good amount of time, but time passes fast. So review the solicitation document, look at the process, and start your application. Do not leave it for the last minute. Thank you.
Do we have our Syrian coordinators here in the room? Rana and Azadin?
I covered. They're not.
Okay, great. I think next, Leah, would you like to cover the questions?
All right. Okay, so we have a second question. Can CBOs submit? Who would like to answer this question? Minna.
I think the most important is it needs to be registered and it needs to be revenue generating.
All right, thank you, Minna. Another question, can incubators benefit from the program?
So far in Algeria, we don't cover that, but in Syria we do. So yeah, ادعي لنا that we have this extended support for Algeria.
All right. هل يوجد أولويات خاصة بفلسطين؟ هو السؤال الثاني بخصوص هل يمكن اعتبار الرواتب والتكاليف التشغيلية من ضمن المساهمة الخاصة بالشركة؟
I can answer the second part if you want, Leah, بس
All right.
I think I lost you. Can you repeat the question completely so I
هل
can...
يوجد أولويات خاصة بفلسطين؟
Okay, so for track 3, we're aiming to support Algeria, Palestine, and Syria. Currently, we're providing the same average grant amount for all countries. So we're speaking around 80K, as we said. They should read the solicitation stated on the website for all the additional details, but specifically for Palestine, it's the same as Algeria and Syria currently under track 3. For the salaries and the other costs, we accept to cover, of course, salaries. But as I said earlier, we should see a clear linkage between the costs that will be covered and the growth plan that the company would be implementing during the program phase.
All right. Thank you, Simran. Another question, can the innovator use another grant for the matching grant? What are the terms?
We can accept another grant as a matching fund, but on a condition that it should not be funded with the same WE4F donors. So we need to make sure about this. And
can I apply if I have an innovative project, but my company is not yet officially registered?
You can apply, but of course, if you you will be deemed to acquire the grant, you should complete the registration during the period of our due diligence. It will take about 3 to 4 months maximum.
Since our proposed intervention may take place in Tut Nature Reserve, could you please clarify whether interventions inside or adjacent to a protected natural area are eligible under Track 3, and what environmental, permitting, and ESG requirements would apply? This is the first question, and then there's another part of the question, so let's answer it one by one.
No, I'm just reading the second section because I think it's related. So yeah, the activity needs to demonstrate a direct link to agriculture and food production. And when it comes to the nature reserve, it's a bit tricky. It's gonna need a lot of how can I say that? Yani it's tricky because you might have an impact on the nature reserve. So we will need to take a lot of steps at the beginning to make sure that this is not the case. It might require a field visit. There will need to be a lot of steps to make sure that you don't have any kind of negative impact on the nature reserve.
Thank you, Minna. Our final question, how much startups get accepted in this program?
For track 3, we're aiming to have to work with 30 companies, so roughly 10 per country. And for track 4, we're aiming for also 30 countries, 30 innovations, sorry.
Thank you, Minna. We don't have any additional questions in the chat. For everybody, if there are additional questions that come up after this informational session, please don't hesitate to either email us through the website. You can find the email, and I will also be sharing the links again here in the bottom of the chat. So then you can also directly email us for additional questions, which you will also find in a couple of days on the website as well. So I guess there are no additional questions. I'm sharing the links now. Good luck, everybody. And also don't hesitate to contact your country coordinators in case of any question as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for joining, and good luck.
Thank you.